Mama say Metro Bass no be ayira ye ho interviews ahodo ne niam bebre. Me kai pass was on Wednesday 17th December. Akake to be na che say nya afi. Adeche ye papa so na ko waka che friend the finder nso so mu bam no no so de to aso. Wawa PWC for akoya investigation say there was no evidence to show say Basses no ayira na mmom no na ye Basses makomako aduonu nwotwe bia na yesi ye ko ocean ye kwa akoton no na wo mu hunu ho nsam bia enka na mom say Basses edubienu ayira pade no de nya sare te ento pani no ba pia de wo so utinkwa so na moment na me ko board no so me ko Metromas board no so ena mekai brofo bebre me wi na fe menya abotre ne adaje na me no mienu nyina no na ya kirem tinya abotre pa me kind bebre specific transactions investigated. In addition to our scope of work set out in section 2, we were specifically requested to investigate the following transactions involving Fuel Solutions Limited, Good Shepherd Technical and Commercial School. A. Fuel Solutions Limited. Mekai. Sawati MMTB and American Metro Mass Transit. MMT has two contracts with Fuel Solutions Limited, a Swiss-based company, dated 1st September 2013 to 19 February 2014 respectively. One contract is for the management of fuel intake for its fleet of buses, whilst the other is for a fleet management system. MMT has two contracts with Fuel Solutions Limited, a Swiss-based company dated 1st September 2013 and 19 February 2014 respectively. One contract is for the management of fuel intake for its fleet of buses, while the other is for a fleet management system. Point 2. Our review of the contract indicates that MMT is obliged to make payments in advance, into bracket 6 months advance for the management of fuel intake and 3 months for fleet tracking, per number of operational buses which the supplier installs its equipment on. However, our review of documentation provided, including invoices from the supplier and discussions with key management, revealed that actual payments to the supplier are based on the number of buses indicated in the contract rather than the actual operational buses per month. Point 4. We cited invoices from the supplier requesting for payment for services yet to be rendered that were paid. And also, we noted from our review of reconciliation documents and vouchers that payments made in advance were subsequently reconciled to ensure that only operational vehicles were paid for. The overpaid amount was then offset against subsequent invoices. 5. In our opinion, this is not a very prudent way of managing MMT's financial resources, as amounts overpaid could have been put into other uses than that would also benefit MMT. Also, it takes the finance manager a long time to complete the reconciliation, thereby giving him less time for another duties. The MD only noted that it was not favorable when it was being executed, and he subsequently called for renegotiation, which is yet to be done. $700,152 is paid for no services done. Highlights. Contract terms. You are soon here. The contract terms, advance payments, are unfavorable, and it puts a strain on the resources of Metro Mass Transit. 2. In an interview with the Managing Director of Fuel Solutions Limited, Mr. Yossi Micheli, he indicated that the contract they signed with MMT was not based on his company's standard contract terms. He said the contracts they signed with MMT was not based on his company's standard contract terms. I'm going to tell you the reason. MMT proposed that they should use one that MMT had drafted. He also mentioned that MMT requested them to pre-finance the purchase of the equipment. And this was the reason why Fuel Solutions Limited demanded several advance payments as per the contract in order to recoup the investments made. File notes of our interview with Mr. U.C. Michele is attached to it. The last, in an interview held on 13th April 2015 with the board chairman, Saberma and Sasesreku III, he stated that the contract with Fuel Solutions Limited regarding fuel management, fuel intake, and supply of fuel. He stated that the contract with Fuel Solutions Limited regarding fuel management, fuel intake, and supply of fuel was already in place before his board took over. His board approved the tracking system contract with Fuel Solutions only. File notes of our interview with Osaberma and Sasesreku III attached to Appendix 40. We confirmed the existence and approval of the fuel management component of the contract in an interview with Mr. Entrijemfi on 21st April 2015. Yeah. Etwamuni ewoha. Afema me fa mbrafie. Asawni ina ne sa. Ba de me kwa board no so kakra. Metro Mass Transit. Womo pe afidi a ye de betare. Bus no ho ne ehunu se. Bus we a mensa brampa na etwi no. Sa bus yi. Na watwe nyina no we use 80 gallons of diesel. Afei management members. And so maybe one year board for, 1 year general manager, 1 year estate manager, one managers, one managers ni na no. One so on car we use no so company no fa fidie meta ho. Na afei yentimi hu no say car no so a deputy managing director o twi no fuel dodo say and on so we use any number 1. Number 2, fuel a we use no so esese one or supply. But that company or a Swiss-based company to go away. Where a Swiss-based company and to go away Ghana diano or go away. Young father to China contract now or kwasa yano and she share woman say answer the yadebano adebia opese yadebra utraka busumi nsiansa yadeba. And she say answer the yade pump in the babano. You would treat Sikanama in 6 months. To say about supply at the end of June, I do treat January. That's a kind of a deal. And say, Yang, Yabon, one year, and ya supply at the end of June. Now, and no, and a 1 year investigation, no, Equa Frere, opening now known at that company, and on some Masabra. Now, dear way, and Chessia, we are then idea one supplier, which you Husika. Or Bado than Kratabra woman. Say that you want trouble, and so never know your young supply. And I always say, na koban the same. And a contract, a yet and said, oh, boy, Minana, contract now, your name Metro Mass for sign, you know. Contract no was not based on my company's standard contract terms. No say na international company at Switzerland. Na we would sign contract to full say yeah to why you who answer Metro Mass for the contract number say one more no more banana here sign. And I say that be yeah say you say Metro Mass for say and one on pay. To the sign yeah na head banana say I just wa between Sebiano $700,000 at the Bebro. Pelt near the pelt near the $700,000 no come on Ghana, you twice water to the jet na sign. Also, I'm Kobai. The Baba in answer, Metro Master for say, the Omo pay ya, where ya, what ya drafted na, and Uponanya, original drafts. And no other says almost say, almost also Mona Muslim country, Mona money, yeah, Sashi, Saturday and say, area, and almost inside. Papa say, almost inside, I dare you, and a Metro Master for Baba catch almost say, one more Diana, one prim finance, I don't know, say, this thing is not in the contract you brought to us to sign. So why do you say this? Or say pre-finance? And on social say or pre-finance. No more pre-finance here and the PWC voice woman kwaje nkrata na womu hwemu no womu say. One. Say company bi ti baby na mema fuel wo Ghana e abodam sem. Number 2, afidie na ode ba betar ho no odi ba beta afidie de ho no adamfo fo bi kura se card kura bi wo ho a be ya fe afie mienu na sa ma hin no kura ye hu bi wo card ho na timi atrack fuel na ye wo krom ha de ye te se metro mass buses wo fa obo ase kwan so na omutimi gina ho na ma twede ze na ton na se ka na kakwam ye se mframakom enti e ko blidi sa de na ya ka no enti that machine no emo car no ho na no no mo ko busa bo chairman na Board chairman say, Nana, Odaroma, I am the Kakro, Bameka, because I'm not saying some cat. Osabarama, I said, I am a day, Bameka. Board chairman, so, many more. Me buy, no, me nana, me buy and not contract, no, ya signed that. Now, more message, Munona, me approve. La ilaha illallah bismillahir rahmanir rahim anshadu Allah. Hey, now you signed that. Tell you. In an interview held on 13th April 2015 with the board chairman, Osaberman says III, he stated that the contract with Fuel Solutions Limited regarding fuel management was already in place before his board approved the tracking system contract with Fuel Solutions. Contract ni muni na tracking system ne ka hono na na ba ne ya sawi. Ti da na hwe ya hu se brofo ya twotwe any sa contract ya ye enye papa lawyer so te board no so bi lawyer at the board no so bi ahemfu guso a lawyer for guso lecturers eguso PhD holders eguso MD daso deputy MD odaso minister odaso and almost say useless contract way. Say a Swiss-based company. Ebe. I don't say I am mystery. Because and some of what I do because I make a go I do you do my fide. Now you treat triaka. It is a 6 months behind the $700,000 score. Na my na company na said demanded pay me as at $700,000. Near the call 6 months pay $700,000 the call. Matriasa 4 times equipment in the mother. Mother triako. Enti yari anasa ejimi. Yari anasa ejimi. Sa mama dear Matias here. What they anya contract na nya kura me mapene so. Na mom tua mame bosu nsia bia na me supply. Bosu nsia ade na mai na ya say tua. Na dia time kura ne say there was an overpayment. Sikana one contract na one kasa ko sign ye ni mu no. Ti board chairman na won. Ye nana. Nane. Nyankwada. Enti na away overpayment ne kwaso ni nyina na board no way board no overpayment we nyina kwaso no na board no way sa Ghana yenye sika efo enti so bia ye sika ni bia sa ohini din wo munti ama west na mentimi nyi de mpese mi yibare ma cause na wo said the need my Bible said the need fatano be said the need no chama west na mpesa me yiyi ba no ntimi ngima cause ohene onya hene keto ya mahene nso mi gira he me ya mahene chiame chama me ntimi ngima entina board no wa he It's a one send a metro mass in this one. Yeah, Switzerland company, Beme fuel. Switzerland company, fuel na de Beme no, Fadia Babo Honi and track it. Switzerland company, Beye say, Switzerland company, Beye say, to Goil Ghana Limited, not going. Not Goil, ever he. And you cry, you were Total Ghana, you were Shell Ghana. That's a Swiss based company. And you're based in Ghana, and you're based in Ghana, Swiss-based company. With all respect, Ayana, near maybe or why, it's a siwo kroya yetimi mua. Let me be Sammy Jose. To Ghana nipa tesansem we ayana or yeding. If we can pay $700,000 every 6 months for no supplies, now you go suni etriako. Na yegusuni etriako na wonso finance manager muya yese ko fan krata abra wan kata na wan kasa ko fa ba no kra keke sisi ne okuta calculator o se mi hunu so wo hunu sika na wan kasa watua no hunu so ba wan nyina ye wi ade ye dum ye nyina ne se oh ye nyina di na ye wi oh board no ye dissolve we na nka ya bom modern na ya sawo mo nyina line ye do makojina court. Because you will you said negligence, you do be papa kotuma ni wo prison. You said negligence. Yes, sikano audio. Yes, sikano de ono wendibi. Na mo no oya pani no tuano no oya nhwa ha. Ama sikano won wa tedase no esai sikano nti ono onkodem. Emma one would this, he can't hammer and one year one dembi. No more, no, your penny not the office, no. The second year, hey, many Kojo Fojo, and Frank Jetum. Now, can you see any idea who pass our near catch and say, oh, Sammy and cheer. Honestly, say, oh, yeah, your boss, no, or no, I am Shahanti, or no, condemn 9 years, your coffee, Kennedy, you know, you're number free. And see, you'll be papa for 2 manu. But where would your woman and Amma? Where any negligence can go? When it Trump came, because Nana say they approved part of the same contract. So what happened to the other contract? What happened to the other contract? What happened to it? Oh yeah, you lady. Yeah, daddy. Oh yeah, you deputy. Oh yeah, dissolve the board. Mr. President, that is not enough. Because Adia Amma Wankasa President wo brand say sika wo hia dia your money ye no won wa ye corrupt no e di sika no enti wo nyam fa nyo de sesa wo de yo megidi ye pass se wo nya ya ka project bia wo don saka bia ka wawie because megidi ye say your president bia dis wade hunu say e kwan asai na ensai more school dey any ho enwo ho more nkofo nya nsuo num no enwo ho more. No, I don't think that is the anything e wo president bia adunum e wo wutrim say wo be ya de papa tiri ye to abama ho. But one wafa won say 1 year adwuma mboa wo no wo mo disika no wo mo diso a wonya hwe. That's my problem, JM. That is my problem. Nipa disika by heart. Na just sa me kasa mra mani osabara madi ye interview we fidie yiso last year. And some appear and some papa no kaya and some okaya December no some or nana kaya no. Now I was even expecting say I don't could have peer document. I've read this entire document. Makaya kanina 256 page documents. I don't cry the bakukra him. Not one kura him. But me busa say ya Ghana sikanti. Yantungu sa mpacho na machine nso a nso nyame ye adom e ba ya nso ya mfanta card ho da gudam nso metro mass for mo de yeren mo bawe afidie no mo a motua sika na emma de ba ya nso a egudam nti mo bawe mo de ba ya bosso a nyasa mo bawe chinchinga mo nkekam gigrew na mo nwe. Na mo lucky me say ohini bi hu wom ti you see sanyama we nyina ekoso just one company every 6 months we lose close to $1 million every 6 months. So in a year 1.4 million dollars every year Metromas share $1.4 million etugu kwa. Every year you share tugu kwa. The Brunel so nya kukudro ne ho bi. Now they have a time catch and say I can't na you say nanka men sign no Metromas for na force year no mo draft the share yensem and they say nonsense. Nonsense. Finance manager yet kwaji sika de bra. Na obaji kwan obefa so obekwa kwaji sika de aba. Na me se buku e bibia ne ho abeba ma stop is realizing no. Ye be bom sa kwosisi ye be wie sa review we. Ade we. Na ba ku be wom kura de ehu asase a wo ma ko lizi. Asase a ye lizi no Tema Development Corporate TDC for no room din yaban say TDC for say tempera. Na Metromas for kotua over 6 billion. Say o ma kwaji mo lizi for 10 years. TDC for say mo boa. Mo fi asase mai. Ewom. You see, I thought that would trust you and I would do no nti kwabrane timi kwatena office. In 1 year, no was signed 59 contracts. Over 1 year, there are 52 weeks. They make it 1 year. But one was signed 59 contracts in 1 year. And it's just every week, there be every 5 days, you be outside contracts. What signs are 5 days, you be a sign contract, Metromas transaction, sign team. To an extent, sir. Every secretary, personal assistant, and to be signed contract on behalf of the people and government of Ghana. Useless nonsense, bogus about them. PPA. To be signed contract on behalf of the people of Ghana. Where was the MD and the board? You see, and many people would do what? What's that, Mr. President? You cannot be reassigning people like this. So, in fact, Mr. President, you cannot be reassigning people like this. Sometimes, sometimes you cannot reassign people like this. It's difficult for some of us to understand. It's difficult. So what happens to it? We'll be changing wings. So after, what happens to it? Now, you see a dissolving board. Ghana for ye. Me kura me jane many aje me kan ye dissolving board. Nonsense. The dissolving board is Ghana. With all respect, Mr. President, I know you listen. See, I owe Malta. Uni Ghana ha. I know you listen. And I know you are listening to me now. I know. What's in some of you I know very well some pa. But Abani Julius Debra, make our fidel so that your boy would inside chief of staff say, when you she am fama mahama by Obama discipline about watch it. Bra, watch it. Baza, watch it. Me say when you she am fenja mahama by you will bring discipline. I know dear. Mindim war as Julius Debra, Eastern Regional Minister. Julius Debra, as your friend saying, local government minister. Julius Debra, I know you. Say, when to be a fair Makrano, discipline there, you will bring it on board. Basinia, yeah, check. Because some of the reappointments, I na Madriam say, wouldn't cry, my background information ye. Maybe I am my background information here because if you are time. Kwabranema ya lose $1.4 million every year. They are some an appointment for baby a hokrano $9 million. Your friend said, yeah. Controversial contract. You go and add this problem on the head of this man when you're 60 years and so retirement. Hey, I have some cramble because no. Look, Kofo. When you not try 100 years, obey. Rollins, watch 100 obeko. Professor Mese Kura 70 Kura wenya. Oko. Mahama obeko. Bijina he meko. But yenye Korea, ye manu dache no. And then answer me kwa airport. Me share ekwan N1 ya yesi ya no 4 lanes kura ye na mu yi yenkom afia ye bedi bronye wo won mo yire no no won boyfriends no mo girlfriends beto to cars am mo do so okrum ha enti kwan ketiwa ya da ho ye the next 10-15 years yam koso tafeji ya kwa Nigeria star ni bi wa wo ka number bi start GR bi Monday wuntu wa wo de ye CR Tuesday wuntu na just ya chene sa. We need people who can think for us. We need people who can think. People who can go outside the box. The president said that. People who can think. We need thinkers. We don't need tankers. Tank is where the answer consuming. Consuming so gumsa on ring. We don't need tankers. We need thinkers. People who can think for us. At least Ghana bet me. Aye, I'm fancy. I'm chaso. I catch us that I saw him be woman tea. Yeah, na bansa na no mahim for no. Saberma, what's saving crofobia? And what's I saving was on. I just say, upon God can stop it.